Hello and welcome to This is Private Practice for Monday the 29th of September 2017. I got my purple mojo back. For those of you who are listening to this, not watching it, I've got my purple stripes back in my hair. Gone some of the ratty ends, but you know this video is coming to you complete makeup free, hair not done, yoga pants on, talking about the realities, the realness, the rawness of what it's like to grow a business and a private practice on a day-to-day basis. And last week you will know that I was feeling a bit down in the dumps and questioning why I was feeling like that and why everything felt so hard. Well, I rested really well this weekend, just gone past, but I also did some work because I know, and I've shared this with you before, that if I try and take myself out of work completely, thinking that that's restful, it doesn't help me. It actually makes me more and more anxious. So I didn't do stuff that was too taxing. I just did stuff that needed to be finished or completed or thought about. And it just allows me to create a sense of calm and go, right, I've got that done. I'm on top of that task or that project, or I need to give some more time to thinking about this thing that we're doing. And it's allowed me to be able to get up today and feel good about what I'm doing and good about my business and good about the change that we make in people's lives. We still don't have it 100% right all of the time. And it's really easy for me to flip over into feeling overwhelmed by not being good enough. And I've worked out that that's a really big trigger for me. As soon as I start any sense of not being good enough, I overcompensate. And in overcompensating, I create more work for myself and my emotions get a little bit out of control. And I don't really realize my emotions are getting out of control because as a health professional and a rehabilitation counselor, I've learned that emotions are something I need to manage and regulate so I can hold space for people and let them deal with their emotions. But obviously, conversely, what starts to happen is if I don't give my emotions any chance to be or process or be experienced, then they interrupt me in other ways. It's kind of like, you know, eating too much saturated fat so that all of your arteries get clogged up and your blood can't pump through your body. If you don't give your emotions a chance to process and make sense of what you're going through or what you're feeling or how you're reacting, then it's like they're hardening the arteries of your ability to process information. They'll affect you. Who knows if that analogy worked or not? What I'm trying to say is it'll come out in other ways. So for some of us, it might be we don't sleep. I have incredibly vivid dreams. I find it really hard to concentrate. My brain feels like it's so full. I was trying to explain it to my husband last week, and I said it's like my brain is bouncing off my skull all the time. And it's not a throbbing. It just feels like there's not enough space for all the things in my brain to actually have room to exist. Hang on a sec. And for me, emotions, I'm good with physical fatigue. I know what it is, and I enjoy feeling physically fatigued. I know cognitive fatigue, and to be honest, I enjoy knowing that I've worked hard and that I'm cognitively fatigued, but it's emotional fatigue, and emotions that always surprise me. It's like, goodness me. I actually said to a gorgeous friend of mine today, I think I would be happier if I didn't have to deal with emotions. And yes, I get the irony of saying I would be happier if I didn't have to deal with emotions. So that's not true, because emotions add a richness to our lives and a richness to the way we exist and that we exist with others. And seriously, I think if we took emotions out of life, then we would have a very two-dimensional experience rather than a 3 or 4-dimensional experience. So why is that relevant? Well, I think, again, it needs some discussion, and I think we need to become better at understanding how our emotions need to be regulated, how our emotions are affected by our work and by others around us, but also how to take responsibility for our emotions and emotional consequences of the work we do. And I see this so often when I have clinicians coming to me with compassion fatigue, and we have so many clients coming into the service with chronic health conditions and mental health conditions where they're talking about burnout and understanding that they were burnt out before There were things that they could see were happening before they got seriously unwell. So if we're not watching out for this, if we're not looking after our emotional health, so we've got physical health, we've got cardiovascular health, we've got mental health. I'm going to add a new health, emotional health. But how about we just forget all the different bits and just call it being healthy? Like we're a whole person. Let's just get healthy. If we're ignoring our emotional health, if we're ignoring that, it's a massive, massive part of our lives. And we know that in this day and age, robots can replace a lot of our tasks. They can replace us in a lot of mechanized, automatic work. So the thing that's going to set the humans apart in the new world of work is our social and emotional intelligence. And this is a thing that I see employers wanting more and more and more of. I will say this all the time to any new person coming into my business. I can teach you skills. I can teach you the skills of doing this work. What I can't teach you is how to be socially and emotionally intelligent to do this work the way this work needs to be done. Because rehab is not about following A to B to C to D. I know that's what we were taught at university, but we deal with real people with real lives, and that's not the way it works. So we need to be able to pick up the emotional and social components of what's going on and interject ourselves into a person's situation so that we can help them make sense of their life and then ultimately give them control of their life back. Now, that's a lot of words. So what we do is so complicated, and what we do is we are so emotionally invested in the work that we do. Is it any wonder we get tired, we get stressed, we get burnt out, and we end up with compassion fatigue? So if any of that is ringing true for you today, any of that at all, and you're going, Jo, I think that's me, please don't sit there and not do anything. Please reach out to somebody and say, can you help me think through this? Can you help me make sense of my emotions? I think this is something I need some work on. Please, there are so many people around, so many resources around. If you type burnout into Google, you watch what happens. I know, I've been doing it. Really, really fascinated by this intersection of how we work and work well and where burnout fits into that. I'm really fascinated by it. So don't just listen to my voice and go, that's all well and good for everyone else, Jo. You're important and we need you doing what you're doing. And I know I've been harping on this message a bit lately, but I know how important it is because offline and off these videos, people are talking to me about it. So I'm going to keep the conversation going. And to be honest, I've written a really emotive blog post this week. It's actually taken a lot out of me, but I'm hoping that it will actually put into perspective and help me to settle down a little bit in terms of my emotions. And I hope it really helps the people who get to read it. So this is private practice. This is Monday. This is a glass of water, but I want you to go and be fabulous and understand that you're important and we need to look after you. Looking forward to talking to you again this week.